I didn't know that I had lost my way. Thought everything was gonna be okay, but life was empty. I filled it up and carried on. The pain kept coming, I was going down. I held so tight, kept falling to the ground. I knew I had to change, I knew I had to let it go. And now I've found a better way to wash the ego pain away. And then I found the words to say, I am divine, I am divine. It's always been there, it will never go away. I am divine. I feel so free, remember every day, the moment all the pain was washed away. I shine so bright now, and I want everyone to know. You've got this living deep inside you too, and it's so easy just to feel brand new. Commit surrender to your divinity within. And then you'll see a better way. Things you don't need will fall away. Your eyes will open and you'll say, I am divine, I am divine. It's always been there, it will never go away. I am divine. Oh, I am divine, I am divine. It's always been there, it will never go away. I am divine. It's always been there, it will never go away. I am divine.
Can you adjust the camera? But just the camera. Okay, so he goes.
When I look in the mirror, there's a man that I see who's been searching a lifetime for a way to be free, never knowing the darkness that was following me like a mutating virus, one that I couldn't see. And I breathed you in, and I fell again. I can see the end. Here I am now, I transcend. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. I was searching for answers, they were there all the time, but I just couldn't see them. In my heart I was blind. I believed in your story, now I know it wasn't true. And I see who I am now, and I know what to do. And I'm breathing in, and I'll start again. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. Just turn around and go. I can't do this anymore. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. I want you to know that I let you go. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. I want you to know.
Hello. Greetings, divine beings. How are you guys today? Happy Monday. It's Monday, right? I believe so. Let me check. I'm usually not living on this dimension, so. Oh, wait, it's Tuesday. My apologies. Welcome, Dan, Eric, George, Gilbert, James, Cola, Linda, LK, Michael. Can you scroll down a little bit for me, bro? Nalet, Jan. Jan, looks like a new name. Interesting. Welcome to you. Ah, yep, our escapades went well. Definitely tell you about those here in a little bit. How's everyone's rising start? Did you guys have a great divine focus for all of the returning people and for all the new people? If this is your first time, don't worry, you'll get the full context, or we hope that you'll get the full context here by the end of the call. So yes, today's been an amazing day. We went whitewater rafting. Super fun, group activity, team bonding. It had been like I think it was like 3 days where I was only sleeping 1 hour a night, working with David, and then last night after the call, Jamie's like, "Oh, by the way, we're going whitewater rafting." I'm like, "Oh, great." It's like 2:30. So I get home, it's about 3:30 a.m. I go to bed. Which something crazy happened last night. I'll probably tell you later on in the call. I don't want to scare off everyone at the very beginning of the call. I'll like give you guys a couple of minutes to get situated. Um, and yeah, at 5:30 got up and then we went about an hour out of well, it's still actually here in Davao City. It's like the longest river. What was it? The Davao River? So we went on the Davao River. We went whitewater rafting, which was really cool. I got a couple of lessons, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Kind of funny. I probably would have, before this process, I probably would have just kept it to myself because I'd be too embarrassed to share. But yeah, it's been an interesting Tuesday for sure. But yep, I'm super excited for all of you, and we got some new developments with the systems. I'll share with you here later on in the call. But I just want to open up the call by saying if you have any updates you want to share, I would love to hear them. Whatever it is, if you want to just unmute yourself or raise your hand, whatever works for you.
Hello?
Gilbert,
You guys are, I'm pretty sure you guys are getting bored of hearing me, but
never,
it was
bro.
it was it was a beautiful day, bro. Yesterday, I actually I'm noticing how much more sensitive our body's becoming. And if you ever get this, don't take it. I'm about to throw it out. This was like poison to the head. I tried taking it's like a testosterone booster called Tankat Ali, but let's just say after doing 22 days of this and then trying to take that, it was intense, bro. I just project out all of it out. Like it just didn't want to hold down, man. Like it knows what's good for the body, and that definitely is not good for the body. That's one of them. I went to go play basketball, and on the way over there, there's obviously a lot of dogs in the neighborhood, and not even one bark, dude. It was kind of strange. It just looked at me like family, like what's up, like, and I'm like, interesting. You guys always bark. You guys are like the most aggressive, but but it was interesting. And then I got over there, and then there's some people playing wall ball, and then just went to say hi. They were super friendly with me. And on the way out, they're like, "All right, bro, have a beautiful day." Like every single one just greeted me like with the most beautiful respect. And one's like, "Yo, we gotta ball up sometime," and this, and we exchanged numbers. I wasn't, planning on, you know, reaching out or anything. I was focused on my swishes, bro. I've never done so many swishes in a row in my life, man. It was impressive. And then last night I was tempted. I don't think I shared some of this with
How
you,
many
but I
how
do
many
have.
how many
What?
swishes?
How many swishes? I did like 8 in a row from the 3-pointer line. So that's for me. I typically like do 4, 5, but 8 in a row. That was for me. That was a new 8 out of 10 is pretty good for me. And thanks for asking, rather. But yeah,
You
no, to me it was
reminded me. You reminded me of one of my blissful moments. I did 61 in a row from the free throw line once.
61. All right, I gotta try to one up that tomorrow. I'm definitely heading back out. I'll let you know if I hit it. If not, you won't hear about it. But oh, okay. So last night, I was getting tempted again, tested, and this time the ego tried coming at me. I do have an ex-wife, and I do have 2 beautiful daughters that she does not allow me to have any kind of relationship or bond or anything like that. So last night I was tempted, and I do care about her. You know, I wouldn't have married her if I didn't care. So it showed me like, well, first, before that one, it was one with my brother, and it was trying to tempt me with my brother. And there was a specific cartoon called Attack on Titan. So it was like a bunch of Nephilim it was like an anime, but it was brutal. Like, and I was just looking at my brother, I was like, all right, bro, like, are you sure this is the last thing you want to see before before you're about to head to rest tonight? It was, yeah, yeah. And then I was like, all right, bro, I'm gonna head out. And I just walked away. But I sensed it, like I sensed it. It was trying to send me a bunch of fear into my mind last night. So I woke up, I was able to recognize it, wake up out of that dream. Went to use the restroom real quick, came back, and then I went to the other one with my ex-wife. And this time was trying to test me because, like I said again, before the car accident, I was like -5% in my divinity. And there's a lot of things I wish I could have. There was a lot of things I wish I could have done. And they were so small, and they just wanted to have some time with me. And I was just so tired from working a 14, 16-hour shift that the only thing I could do is just barely be awake for them. And it showed me an opportunity to like make love to my ex again. And I was just like, oh, I know you're tempting me with my lust. And then I just said, you know what? I told her, like, right when she was about to, like, when I was in the bed, I got up real quick and I said, you know what? I'm going to go play with my little girl. And so I went to the other room. I got to see her. She's like, look, Daddy, all the crosses crosses are gone. She was referring to the diamonds that were inside the bracelet. And then and I didn't want her to get in trouble because it would belong to my, my ex-wife. And so I just I helped her put it all back together again. And it was so beautiful, man. That was like the first time I got to see him in like 7, 8 years. So to me, that was a beautiful highlight. And I'm hoping that eventually I'll be able to see him again soon. Just, I wanted to work on myself so hard. That's what I did for the night, past 9 years. And I'm so glad that your process allowed me to see all the habitual patterns and to snap me out of all of it. And I'm hoping to bring all that compassion and love if for one day my ex-wife finds it in her heart to allow me to see him or to build some kind of bond with him. So that was another highlight. And then right after that, it was trying to test me again with the lust. So I said, oh, if you don't want to do it with her, then there's another one. Another chick tried cutting me off in the hallway after I just talked to her, like to my daughter, and I was like, what are you doing here? It was, I guess it was one of my ex's friends or something, and she tried pulling me into the restroom, and I said, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Like I'm not worth, it's not worth abandoning my family. It's not worth abandoning me. It's not worth it. And so I woke up. And I just felt so light and so grateful to just have just an opportunity to see one of my daughters. And so thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. And I know there's not a lot of stuff going on in the physical plane, but I'm constantly being guided in the spiritual plane. I've been doing that for the past 8 years. So I appreciate your time, and I I hope this helps somebody else, try to speak up and say some of their truth and let their light shine. So on a brighter note, woo, feeling great, baby. Thank you so much for letting me share.
Thanks for sharing, bro. I always love hearing your updates. Will says, I feel you, bro. I also have an 8-year-old daughter with my ex. I haven't seen her for 3 months. Whew. Yeah, I don't know how that feels to not be able to see your kids. Because I don't have any kids, at least not that I know of. But yeah, I could definitely feel the emotion, and I have a feeling that you will be able to reconnect with your daughters, bro. I actually have no doubt about that.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Looking forward to it. It's been like 8 years, but feels like there's a hole, in my tire, my spiritual tire, and hopefully, can get patched up soon. And I have faith, and that's why I continue to keep pressing on every single day for them.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I think with what you're doing with, your divine focus and just staying in your divinity, that's the most that you could do, because at the end of the day, like when you shift and you stay in your light, everything else is gonna shift as well. And so I'm sure that your ex-wife eventually will be able to see that, and something, something different will come of it. So um I look forward to hearing some updates on that here. I have a feeling that something will shift for you, bro.
Appreciate you, Sam, and
Yes,
thank you,
sir.
Will, for feeling me, bro. Dude.
Anyone else want to share any updates?
I would
Okay.
say this. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
Dan, go ahead.
Um, I wasn't gonna say anything, but then I heard somebody mention on the chat that I don't know who it was, but she felt more pain in a certain part of her body. And so that's what I've been experiencing. It's more pain where I know I need some healing in my body. Um, I'm just kind of allowing that to happen rather than, resisting it. It's almost like the nerves are coming alive, you know. And it's mainly been in my skull, and I haven't talked about the physical, but I've had that over 20 years. And, it's like becoming much more intense, but in like more um, not centralized, so I can handle the pain. Before it used to be just centralized and it was excruciating, like a thumping and that. But now I'm starting to, embrace the pain because I know it's like a breakthrough type thing. And I heard somebody else talking about they might experience pain in their body. So what about that? If people experience that?
Yeah, so I'll tell you, like I like literally stubbed the shit out of my toe the other day. I didn't see uh the like so like there's like here in the Philippines, like I don't think wa dryers are a thing, I guess. So they dry the clothes outdoors, which is cool. But there's like a ledge, and I literally I wasn't paying attention, and I stumped the shit out of my toe. And so my toe was hurting, but what I realized is like every time I would go into like my divine focus, that pain would subside more and more and more and more. And it's just when you're feeling something, regardless if it's like a physical thing like that actually happened or whatnot, it's actually stemming from a mental slash emotional place, energetic place. And so it's just telling you something that's coming up for you. And I mean, really, you don't really have to do anything. It's just going back into your divine focus, right? Because I'm sure there's a point for you, Dan, where there was no pain, right?
Yeah,
So
over about
if there
25
is
years ago.
pain, Well, even whenever you did the process just a few days ago, was there any pain there?
Not in that exact moment. It's just that I noticed last night that the pain was so great that it was disrupting my sleep. And but I was thankful for the pain. Otherwise, I'd have been fearful of the pain, having gone through this process. Because I feel like the energy when I do the divine focus, I can feel that energy go there more. But it's
Yeah.
dissipated. It's not the same type of pain that I've had when I had no hope. But now that I have the hope of it actually, like healing energy going to that spot, even though there is some pain there. I'm that's why I can actually talk about it because I've never been able to talk about it anybody because nobody can actually do anything about it. So it feels really good to be able to talk about it.
Well, I'm glad that you feel open to talk about it, Dan. I will say that all we have is the present moment, right? So, like for example, like yeah, we only have right here, right now. So it's like in one moment it could be there, and then in another moment it won't be there. For example, the other day I told you guys like I woke up in the morning, I had tonsillitis. Literally, my throat was like hurting like crazy. My ear, it felt like I had an infection. By the end of the day, it was completely gone. And the reason why that happened was number one, Jamie was like, "Why did you create that?" He questioned me, he's like, "Why did I create that?" So it's like, I'm gonna ask you, why did you create that? Number one. Number two, I heard uh Dr. David Robert Hawkins talk about you can't you can't deal with a physical symptom using the physical. You have to deal with the emotional aspect of it. And so we already have a process, right? The divine focus, if you just go into it long enough, I guarantee you that pain's not going to be there. So this is just an opportunity, Dan, for you to go deeper into your divine focus and to just make it more of a commitment.
I thank you for that feedback because I just recall the line. I think Einstein might have even mentioned it that the only way that we can solve a situation or condition is to rise to a higher level of consciousness of that which created it. Thank you for
There you
reminding me.
go.
Thank you
There you
for
go. Yeah.
reminding me.
Well, thanks for the quote. I'm sure someone needed to hear that. And I'm
Yo,
look forward to hear about your breakthrough and the pain subsiding completely because I already know it's going to be gone.
can I share about that pain thing? Since I had that last night, it was like a banging headache. Like it's been really easy for me to get into that divine state, to feel it like really easy and reverberate it, and it was trying to use that intense migraine like to try to overpower my ability to try to like emit it out. I don't know how to that's the best way I can try to explain it, but it was like as much as I was trying to get into it, it was just throbbing like boom boom. It was like try finding your divinity now. That was the ego trying to say that shit to me, dude. And I kept going and I kept going and I kept going, and it was finally starting to subside a little more, and it kept going, and then finally I started to feel it, and it started to like completely just like obliterate the migraine. And so this morning I woke up and I'm feeling peachy, bro.
You're looking peachy. See the light, bro.
Thank you, thank
And
you, thank
then
you.
Linda said something to you, Gilbert. She said,
Oh,
Gilbert,
thank
I
you.
feel you. My husband's ex did the same and have faith it will turn around. I pray and see it so.
Oh, oh, thank you. Thank
You're
you.
so welcome, my friend. Yes, I love you. You're just your energy is awesome. You're just an inspiration to everybody. I love what you post, what you bring, your heart. We're gonna all hold you up and feel that and see that. And so it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Your beauty is just so uh, expansive and just you're just such a beautiful soul. Love you. Love you, man.
Likewise. Stay strong,
And
Linda.
yeah, I relate to what you're saying about the pains. I don't have, I mean, I have this hand that gives me a little trouble, and I was having some headaches. I don't know if I classify them as a migraine, but pretty heavy. And just feeling physically bad, just like, and I don't feel that way. I always feel good. So it was interesting how it was trying to pull me out, of the divinity that we are. And then on Sunday, I did this. I met this gal, and she's getting certified as a breathing coach. So I was her guinea pig, so to speak, right? And she's telling me we're going to do these breathing techniques, and they didn't resonate with me. I'm a yoga teacher, and I have different, ways of doing it, but I was open to try her way. And I started coughing, and I couldn't control, my breath. It was kind of weird. And so then she invited me to just do, which I was going to do anyway, but do my normal breathing. And I started getting a pain in my right side, so strong, so intense. And I'm like, wow, this is interesting. What's that all about? And then all of a sudden I had like a knife, but it was in my vision of it was more like a nail in my right top of my foot. So painful. So, and she kind of warned that, some of these things might come up at this breathing technique she's doing. So I was like, she said, kind of move it out. And so I had my eyes closed, and I was like, I am divine. I am. And I was just like repeating that and finding that in the intense pain, the peace and the surrender, and then I was making some movements and getting that flow of energy out, and it just like dissipated, and it was so remarkable. It was so cool. So I don't know if that's like, hurt holding things. I was a stuffer of emotions. People would hurt my feelings, and I would stuff things. So I feel like it just kind of is gone. It's like not there anymore. So I don't know. It was really cool. And I feel like I'm much more peaceful and patient. And like, I think we kind of all can, I shouldn't say that. I can be judge myself and others. And that's like going away. And it's so
Mhm.
freeing. It's like, man, just a loving and honoring people, who they are and where they are. And I love your smile, Gilbert, by the way. He's so cool. So I
And
don't know.
you
I
said,
just
oh, if you don't mind me sharing, you did say I don't know, but I think you do know. I think you're just starting to realize how powerful you are too.
thank you. Yeah, language is important, right? Thank you.
Yeah. Get that weak language out. We're working on
Yes.
powerful language now. That's what I'm learning from Sam and the I Am Divinity team. All right. That's all I got. Sorry.
Yes, cool. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yes,
Linda,
it's an
I
old
just want to say
habit.
that you're shining so bright. Yeah, you're
Oh,
just
what's
shining
up?
so bright. And
Um,
it's awesome to have such a supportive community. But I do want to just point out one thing. You said you were feeling more peaceful. So is that like 1% more peaceful, or like, how much more peaceful are you feeling?
yes, that's a good point. So language again, peaceful, period. Peace. I'm not ruffled. I'm like accepting. I can't, I mean, it's a peace, a surrender. There's no judgment. It's just such a different vibe. It's hard to put into words. It's hard to express. I think the language is limiting, but yeah, yeah,
Ineffable.
it's
Yeah. Yep.
ineffable. Yeah. And I love this community. I want to go back and listen. I think it was Sunday you guys were talking, and I missed the weekend, and some pretty heavy stuff was shared. I need to go back and listen to those. I just love coming here and hearing everybody's um their heartfelt, shares, and it's just a great community. Thank you.
Thank you. I love you guys. I love you, Linda. Thank you for just being here and just being an awesome part of the community. You could definitely feel the genuine just support, that you just offered, Gilbert. So you don't find that anywhere else, right? Like you really don't. So just makes me really just happy to see. Tiffany says, I ate 3 cookies yesterday and I got a sore throat later. By the evening, it was gone. So, Tiffany, I feel you. That's what happened to me. I ate like a bunch of donuts, and that's how I created that tonsillitis. It's like the ego's gonna be like, oh, you can eat a little bit of sugar, even though you know you shouldn't. But that's the one of the ways that the ego will get you, even like your food choices. Like you know what to do, but then you're like, oh, it won't hurt. But we always know exactly what we need to do, where we need to be. And the ego will just use any little thing to just get in there and just kind of, like I said yesterday, just a little shift here, and it takes you to like a whole other place. And now, whenever you're operating from this level of consciousness, there's so much less that you can get away with. That's the thing. Because, Jamie shared this before, whenever you're unconscious, it's like, okay, you can kind of get away with a little bit here, a little bit there, but like like the whole law of attraction thing, right? Like, we create our reality, right? But the thing is whenever you're conscious at this level, things manifest so much quicker. So it's like that you don't really have much room to play around, if any, right? Like it was interesting, and I'll share with you what happened today. So we were going down the whitewater rafting down the river. And so they had us do like this whole exercise. They're like, okay, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is how you're supposed to, if you fall in the river, this is how you need to deal with it, handle it. So there's like 3 protocols. It's like, do not stand up because you will jam your leg in like a rock or something. You need to take the paddle and put it on your waist and just point your feet up. So the first time they had us all like, first it was like, Jamie, they had like the left side fall out, and then they had us like pull them in, bring them up, and then they had the right side, which I was on the right side, fall in, and then they had them bring us up. So then oh, Nua. And so that was the first time like where I like consciously just like hopped out of the raft. And then the second time was we were going down and we had hit like these like rocks, and I wasn't secured into because you're supposed to put your foot into, I don't know if you guys ever done whitewater rafting. You're supposed to put your foot in like a little secure place so that way you don't fall out. Well, I wasn't really secured in there. And so myself and Jamie's fiance, Nina, we both fell out. And it was funny because they're like, dude, you look like you were panicking. I was like, yeah, I was trying to figure out what to do. But it just goes back to like the phobic response. Like, even though you quote unquote intellectually know what to do, like that phobic response, like it's instant. And that was the first time. The second time, which is kind of funny, we hit another rock, and it was funny because Jamie was like, he basically said something about like making a decision to not fall in, and I didn't make a decision. I was like, oh, I just kind of left it up to, I was like, oh, I'm in my divinity, I won't fall out. But even then, whenever you're in your divinity, you need to make a decision of where you're headed and what you're gonna do. And so I still didn't make that decision that I wasn't going to fall out of the raft. Well, I fell out again, but this time I fell right onto a rock. Jamie said that I look like a beached whale because I was just laying on the rock. It was fucking hilarious. And I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm just gonna lay here on this rock. Like, luckily it wasn't jagged. It was a little bit more smooth. Thank God. And I'm just like, oh wait, I gotta swim because the raft is going. So like I was like, all right, let me go. So then like I end up like just like letting the current take me. This part hurt, but like I got hit by another rock. And I'm like, I see Jamie like laughing from afar. I'm like, dude, I just got beat up. But yeah, it was pretty funny. And then yo, there was like a near-death experience almost. I'm not even gonna lie. All of us, like the whole like raft got stuck in between like all of these rocks, and then like yeah, I'm okay. I'm more than okay. Yeah, and then like the instructor and like whatever, he had to like all of them had to try to get us out and everything, and I'm just like, dude, this is not gonna happen. Like I had made a decision before that happened, and like every time we would come to like some rapids, they were like, because they have like some commands, they're like, okay, well, what was it, like forward, you know? So I was like, I'm like rolling for my life. I'm like, we're not gonna do this again. So it was like interesting. It's like that piece of like decision. As soon as I made that decision, like I didn't fall out again. And then the second thing was, and it kind of came up a couple of times, the surrender piece. And I had to learn that surrender. It's like, okay, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. But those two put together is like super important, like the decision aspect and then the surrender. And so with that being said, it's been a couple of, what time is it? Let's see. It is 11:42. If this is your first time watching this, we have a lot of fun on these every single night. I think it's day 36 or day 37 at this point. It's whatever. We're here every night, regardless. I'm sure you probably have been looking for something. You've been searching for something, whether it's been in religion, whether it's been in personal development, whether it's reading books, or some people, maybe they do 78 rounds of ayahuasca and they're still looking. You're probably watching this, you know who you are. Here at I Am Divinity, we have an instant and a permanent transformation where we help you, not help you, that's the wrong word, empower you to find the freedom within and to remember who you truly are. Not who you think you are, not the negative beliefs or the positive beliefs, but the actual knowing of who you truly are. And so if you've been looking, what I want you to know is that your search is over.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Don Smith. That's Don with 2 N's. And I'm here to share with you what I've developed over 44 years that I call I Am Divinity. I say that I Am Divinity because I'm divine and so are you. No matter what you've done and what you haven't done, you are divine, you always were and you always will be. And it gets all covered up. And so all of those trips to the personal developments and all of those things, and they don't hold. And did you ever question yourself instead of just going back and getting the next one and the next one and the next one and none of them hold? Well, there's a reason for that. A very big reason is because you're working at a belief level of who you think you are. That's what beliefs are, both negative and positive. They're who we think we are. So going from a negative belief to a positive belief is not the answer whatsoever. It's about the knowing of who we truly are. There's knowing. It isn't a belief. And so all of these ideas of doing this and all of those trips to the wherevers, it's like dealing with a piece of something. But this is not a piece of anything. This is the total knowing of who you are. And what I've developed over this 44 years is a process that's instant and it's permanent. Now, the permanent comes in by you doing something for holding it. But I'm telling you, there's people have this for years and it's instant. And how do I say that with such boldness? Well, put it in the category of a phobia. 90% of the population has a phobia of something. Bugs, snakes, rats, heights, water, whatever. And my question to you is, how long did it take for you to create that phobia? Yes, you're right. 1 instant. And yet everybody questions me about that. And yet that's all it took. 1 instant. So now, what I did was, I reverse engineered near-death experiences and phobias to find out how they worked, and I reverse engineered it. So if you can create a phobia in a second, And most times it's before the age of reason, which is 4, 5, 6. Think about that. At that young of an age, that in 1 second you created a lifetime phobia. Well, it's a lifetime phobia because you're holding on to it for protection. That's how the ego works. It's going to get you to hold on to something that's harmful for you so it can keep you aware in case it happens again. That's how toxic your ego is. And it's not your ego, it's the ego. Sorry, my mistake. Because you are much more than an ego. And so what it's about is if you create it in a second, why would it take any longer than a second to reverse it if you knew how you did it? That's what I do. That's one of the pieces. And then the other is the permanentness of it all. Well, I'm going to ask you a question. What color are your eyes? What color are those eyes of yours? Now you tell me how long you've had that color. Yeah, your whole life. That's permanent. Would you agree? But look at the permanentness of a phobia. You had it from age 4 to 84. That's 80 years. You'd think that was permanent. But it was created in a second, and you can reverse it in a second. So it's not. That's what I'm saying. So that's what we're talking about. Something that's instant, something that's permanent, and it's about who you truly are. Your divinity, your divine. Don't ever forget it. Always remember it. And all of these other things are happening because you have an attachment to the personal development system of beliefs and changing a belief from a negative to a positive. It's not going to hold. It will not hold. Yes, there will be improvements. Congratulations on doing that. That's searching. I'm talking about a shift from this to a shift from this. Who we're not to who we are. And then doing a simple exercise. Takes 5 minutes, 3 times a day to hold it. And there you have it. That's it. That's who you are. That's why it's like the color of your eyes. The color of your eyes has been that way all this time, and you still have that color. Well, it's the same. Who you truly are is permanent. Who your beliefs are not, because it's not true. No matter how much you believe, the negative or the positive about those beliefs, they're false. And so, I'm here to share with you to go on a journey under 2 hours. Now I'm talking about, like I've worked with 15 different pro athletes or Olympians, okay? That's just in sports. And then mega billionaires, millionaires, and health, cancer. You know, one guy, yeah, I met him in the garbage room in Vancouver. I opened up the door and there he is. And he's so gray and he's humped over and he's like, you think he was going to die any second. I said, holy shit, man, you don't look too good. What's going on? He said, oh, I got prostate cancer. I've had it for 16 months. I've had 32 radiation treatments. And I don't know how much time I have. I said, don't listen to that bullshit. Can I ask you a few questions? Within that 15 minutes, I had asked him all these questions. And all I knew about him was his name was Al. 3 weeks later, I get a call from him. The same guy. He said, hi, Don, this is Al Valjanic. I met you in the garbage room 3 weeks ago. Yeah? Well, I don't have any cancer. Now, I could fill this room with those stories. Fill this room with those stories. And you can access this magnificent, powerful, divine energy called IAMDIVINITY. And what's natural about it, it matches who you truly are. That's the key. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting that you will know who you are and it will override and supersede who you think you are? Now, if you're tied up with that persona that you've developed, in a second, I might add, and kept it all this time, like I just worked with a guy that when he was 9, his mom died, and he decided to harden his heart. And he hardened his heart for the next 40 years. And that's what all his issues were about. We went back, cleaned that up, boom, it's gone. all the symptoms. We're all gone. That's how easy it is, and that's how simple this is. So if you want to continue with your hard work and all of those kind of things, and going back and paying for this again, that again, and this again, and the counseling and the therapy and coaching and all of that, go ahead, by all means. But if you want to be free, free to be you, free to be who you truly are, and those eyes, every time you look in the mirror, it will remind you how magnificent you are. And that's how this process is about, whether it's in an individual or whether it's in group. And I welcome you to join us in this journey of raising humanity's consciousness from its existing 210 to 700. That's right, you heard it right. 210 to 700. So it's an awesome journey. We're looking for 100 that are willing to go to 700 to raise humanity's consciousness. So I welcome you, and I'll see you on our journey.
And there goes Don.
Hi guys.
Hey Don,
Um,
we missed you today.
hi. I'm on Divinity Mountain. I'm on Divinity Mountain. Hi there. Hi Linda.
That's amazing. Thank you, Don. Love you.
I
You got the Starlink up there, Don, or what?
got
Or you
what?
got some Wi-Fi now? Do you got the Starlink up there, or are you on Wi-Fi?
I'm not sure. Will help me. All I can tell you is that I can see your picture. I can see and hear your video, and I can see me. So that's all I know.
Will says he's got you on the ET network.
On the what?
The ET network.
Oh,
So what we're gonna do is, Don, did you have anything that you wanted to share with the group? Yeah,
You're
his
muted,
signal's probably
Don.
not the best. Oh, he's muted.
Muted.
okay. How's that?
Yes,
You can hear me?
loud and clear.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Okay. Well, one of the things that happens usually around this time is the ego really uh, kicks and screams and throws temper tantrums, trying to get its way. And like Sam was saying, uh, this is like not paying it any attention, and know that that's what it's coming from. It's all of this, whatever's it makes up the stories, whatever they are. And it's to know, to absolutely know that you have power over it, that ego, because it's not you. It's an entity, and you are not the ego. You are not. So whatever it is, like those awesome things that Gilbert was mentioning, you know, it was amazing. And that's what happens. All of the, no matter what they are, it's just if you stub your toe, if you hurt your ankle, if you bang your wrist, whatever, wherever it is on your body, it's trying to tell you something. It's trying to, either the ego is trying to get you to um, get its attention, or the divine is showing you that there's something that you need to let go of. And that's what this is. It's a purification process. And not to be upset with it or whatever, like Sam had tonsillitis in the morning and he had it gone in the evening. Okay, that's that. Know that we are that powerful, that we create these things. We absolutely create them. Well, if it's us that creates them, it's us that can uncreate them. And we can do it as fast as we created it. We can uncreate it. That's how powerful we are. And okay, Lynn, the challenging relationships. Well, now here's what goes on in relationships. Okay, so you both have a pattern. You've had a pattern before the program, whatever they were, and you know whether it was, you know, not, for example, always giving in, always, you know, letting my partner, um, you know, get his way, or whatever that is, whatever. I'm a people pleaser. I'm a people pleaser. And I never stood up for myself. Now I'm starting to stand up for myself. Like whatever, the key about it is not to leave the relationship right now, no matter how tough it is. It's like working through that piece to make sure that what's going on for you is no longer there, so that if you do leave, you're not getting the same person, only just a different name. Okay? Because that's what'll happen. And it's like, okay, what is it about me? What is it about going on? What have I been doing my whole marriage? And am I still doing it? Those kind of things. And it is those checking those programs and patterns that you have. Because if you leave the relationship, if you're planning on leaving the relationship, and you plan on leaving the relationship, I'm saying to you to not do it until you get this piece worked out. Then decide then if you're going to leave the relationship. And okay. And it was mentioned about physical symptoms. Well, you know, okay, my earpods are gone, so I trust you can still hear me. And so physical, you know, like Gilbert, you know, the symptoms that he had on the first day that he heard about this program through Sam, and his patterns were gone that day, if I remember correctly, Gilbert. And like Sam, he mentioned tonsillitis. So like, okay, if I may be so bold as to ask you what the physical symptom is, you tell me what it is, and I'll show you and the rest of the group something.
I could share it too. That happened to me on day 8. It was literally one right here, like it gashed into my hand, like to the side of my thing, all the way down. I'm pretty sure I needed to get stitches for that, but
Yeah.
it's healing beautifully. I just trusted that I was gonna heal up, and then also my left foot. I was running on some mulch piles because you inspired me to with your bulger jumping. But I was like, I got a lot of mulch piles back here, so I started running. And then I it went straight into my, like, I think I got punctured like this much into my foot, and then I still have it like right here. It's like right here.
Well,
But
okay,
it
so
didn't bleed at all.
What I'm going to say, Gilbert,
Okay.
it's first of all where it is on your body.
Okay.
Where is the injury? Okay, it's
Okay.
on my foot. Okay,
My
if it's
left
on my foot, is it on the left foot or is it in the right
Yeah.
foot?
left.
Okay, so the left is emotional, and it's about stepping into something emotional in your life.
Oh,
Okay, so such as wanting to talk to your daughters, okay, and not being able to. So that's an example. So the physical injury is where it is in the body.
What about the right hand?
Okay, so
Right
the
where
right hand has to do with grabbing, reaching forward, reaching out into the future. So it's what part of the body?
Wow.
Okay, it's that accurate.
Wow.
It is that accurate. And then each one has a meaning. Okay, your feet are stepping forward, your hands are reaching out. Okay, my shoulder is carrying the weight of the world. So everyone, and I'll tell you a book that I have used for years, and it's the Debbie Shapiro Mind Body Workbook. She's the most accurate. Like Louise Hay is just way too general. But Debbie Shapiro is incredibly accurate, like spot on. Okay, so I suggest that that would be a book you would put in your library.
I sure will. Thank you very much, Don.
You're welcome.
What was
You're
the name of
welcome.
it? What was the name of Debbie Shapiro's book?
Mind Body Workbook.
Thank
It's
you.
got a blue cover. So
So the
there's
left
lots of
side is
books.
emotional. The left
What's
side is
that?
emotional. You said the left side, the
Left
left
is
foot.
emotional. Yeah.
Right is what?
Well, your
Reaching out.
intellect, your decision making. And even if I just twinge my toe or hit my ankle or something happened to my shoulder or whatever, the very first thing I do is what's going on right now. And I unpack it immediately and then reverse it. And most times it's gone in minutes. So it's your teacher. No matter how you want to take credit for it or take responsibility for it, it is you having that happen. No matter car accident like Gilbert had, there was something going on in his life at that time that it was like just going to crash. And so there are no mistakes when it comes to this. Whether it's a disease, if it's cancer, where in my body do I have it? So, okay, well, I haven't had the menstrual experience, but but there is that excessive bleeding. There is something happening. Okay, something going on. And that's what I'm saying. And once again, you can use just, oh, okay, so my right hip. Well, my hip carries weight. And it's my right. What weight am I carrying? Like it's logical. The system is logical. And you just ask those questions. And if you listen, it will give you that answer mostly instantly. And then you can immediately start reversing it. The book that I'm referring to, the one that I liked the most, was the Debbie Shapiro Mind Body Workbook. It's blue in color. Okay. Tinnitus. I never had a chance to work with that, even though there was one that I was going to. And once again, if you look up in Debbie, like where it is, what it is. Oh, perfect, Tiffany, perfect. Then you can find that out, whatever it is, it's there. Okay, you just don't accept whatever it is. Do not accept it. It's like, okay, what is this? What's going on? Is it the left? Is it the right? Is it my top of my head? Is it my toe? Is it my ankle? Is it my knee? Is it my calf? Is it my chest? Is it my heart? Is it whatever? Every single one has a meaning. You find out what that meaning is, find out what you did, and you can reverse it, like Sam did. Tonsillitis, gone today. Okay, like those aren't jokes. That's not an imagination. That's what I'm saying. And soon as every time if I have something happen, the moment it happens, I say, okay, left arm, okay, what's going on that I'm having difficulty breathing out, whether it's hugging or whether it's I'm taking on too much or whatever. Like it has that literal meaning to it. And you put it to the body, where it is in the body. And then away you go. Deal with it, and most times it leaves right away. Okay? And so, we could spend all night and 10 nights on each of the symptoms. But it's best if you just, on your own, look it up, get that book or one like it. All I'm saying is that's the one that I found the best. I found Debbie, what's her name? Not Debbie Shapiro, but the other lady I mentioned.
Louise Hay.
Louise Hay. She was the first one to come out with this, but it's way too general for me. Way too general. Okay. And Debbie Shapiro is very specific. That's the difference. And accurate. Yeah. But Louise Hay certainly was the one to open that door of the mind, the body, and the connection. So there you have it. Sure, you can find it. No matter, I tried finding the book itself because it was in my computer when I lost it on our world tour. And anyway, haven't been able to retrieve one. So anyway.
Hey,
But
Don, I have a
just
question for you.
Hey, go ahead.
Yeah,
Rick.
go ahead.
I've been utilizing your method for close to a month now and incorporated it with my meditation, which I've done for over 3 decades. What I'm finding when I'm lining up, I'm able to get into that high delta light phase using my chakras until I reach all the way to my third eye. Been able to maintain in the previous years for 3 to 4 months, and then I have to really start trying to focus to keep it. What I have keep coming up consistently, is the monkey chatter with this technique is not going to stick. That's repeatedly coming up. for me.
Okay. Well, that's your tricky little ego, getting you to doubt. Okay, that's what that is. And the key about this is recognizing that ego energy and paying zero attention to it, because it will do that. It will do all of those things. And that's what it's doing. It's getting you to doubt what happened in other programs you were using that won't work. So the ego is about noticing what's wrong. That's what it is. It's about noticing what's wrong. And that's what it's doing. It don't matter how long you did it, how long it worked or whatever. It's about what's wrong. So, and the next step to that with the ego is noticing what's wrong and thinking the worst. You absolutely know that the ego is in full bloom when that's going on. Okay? And so you're the one that's in charge. You're the one that's in charge of that. It's like, no. You see, you need to know that what happened to you and what happened for you up until you took this process is a totally different system. Okay? Your job right now is to spend 5 to 10 minutes in your divine focus. You turn around from that, using this as an example, what you just said, sorry, what was it you said? Oh yeah, the repeat, the repeat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's your ego. So just know that. So I'll show you right now. Show you for everybody. So here you are. It's it's going to do the same as it did every other time. It's no different. This program's no different than all the others that I took. La 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 la. Okay? So here's what I want you to do. Okay? First of all, you access your highest state, your divinity state, the one that's most amazing. And you just turn around and put your back to the it's not going to work. The la 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 la, that chatter. You turn around, feel that blissful feeling of your divinity. So do that right now. And what happens to that chatter?
It dissipates.
Good. You do it until it's gone. And the only reason why it's dissipating is it's trying to still hold on. It should be gone. But it's still tricking you. Pay no attention. Zero. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Clear?
Crystal.
That's divine focus. And then the next person mentioned about, I didn't catch the name. I'm on my phone here. Is the linking the fingers. Okay. So what that's about in the actual transformation, that you had, you went back on your timeline. And you cleaned everything up. Then you took your thumb and first finger right hand. And that was to hold that divine state that you were in. And then I showed you how to link the thumb first finger right hand with thumb first finger left hand. Link them together and say, I am. And that activates that I am divine, I am divinity energy. And that's how that works. And all you have to do in many cases is just link them and say, I am, and there you are. But the biggest thing is you turn away from the chatter. Turn away from it and just stand in your light. Just stand in your light. Okay? In this divine state, in that most divine moment you had doing the process. And you link that thumb, first finger, right hand. You take your thumb, little finger, left hand, and then let the left go, throwing it like just throwing sawdust into the wind. And then link your thumb, first finger, left, and then link both together and say, I am. That's it. And you hold it. 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes, and it's gone. It's gone. So there you go. That's your divine focus. And lots of times all you have to do is turn around. Put it behind. In this case, that ego chatter. But anything negative is always the ego. Always. Decide whether you want it to be your friend or enemy. But it's best to have it not at all. And that's possible. And you'll just be in your pure light. The light and divinity of who you truly are. Like the color of your eyes. And I'm suggesting that you do that as well. Every time you're in front of a mirror, especially when you get up and go to the bathroom, you look in that mirror and see your magnificence, that beauty in your eyes. That's you. There's no one taking that from you. And that's a reminder every day, waking up to that. And I'll also tell you, another thing, I had a major contract with it turned out to be the second largest company in the world. And so I had all these top executives. They were all, CEO, C-class or whatever, like the big boys. And anyway, this one guy said, Don, I haven't got time to go out into the park to take 10 minutes to do my infinite, my divine focus. I can't get out of the office. I said, okay, bud, are you ready to hear this? What? Go to the store and buy a plant and put it in your office. So there are no excuses. There are no bullshit excuses why I can't do this. Okay, and why I can't do that. That's just the ego coming up with those. Okay? It's like you make time. And if those things are more important than this, then it will leave. You will lose it. And you will be back in where you came from. So it's like, this is my light. I'm holding my light. I'm not giving this up. I'm keeping this under all conditions. There you have it. Okay.
So it just goes back to making that decision to hold this, and no matter what, I'm putting divinity first. And I just wanted to hit one thing, and maybe you can clarify on this, Don. Even though you did mention the body mind workbook, it's not about like going through the workbook and looking through all the symptoms, right? Because all the symptoms are there because you're not in your light. So it's like it can be useful, but going into the divine focus, all of those things are completely gone. Can you clarify on that?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is that looking at those, if you don't know what it is, you'll know that's, you'll know what's going on internally. And then the other is turning around, holding your light, and many times it will leave as quickly as it came, just by being in your divinity.
Awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that because me back in the day would probably be like reading that book like a Bible and trying to
Yeah,
figure out
no,
all of the symptoms and
no, 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 not at all. No.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you're
so
not
I know
sure,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because there's probably someone on there that's like, oh, I'm gonna be reading this book and just trying to
Yeah.
understand all the
No,
symptoms.
no. Oh, okay. I stubbed my toe. What's a toe about? Oh, I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Tiffany says, haha, me too.
Okay, Tiffany.
I have all the Louise Hay books.
Yeah, that's not what I meant it for. So, but great that you have.
Thank you, Don. I'm sure a lot of people got so much out of that. I actually looked up for me, and it was saying like the toe is like the faith, and it was interesting because the ego was trying to kind of convince me because it's been a little bit longer with the launch, and so as soon as I recognized that, it's like all the pain in my toe is gone now. So a few minutes ago there was pain in my toe, and now there's no pain. So it really is that quick. But with that being said, I want to bring on our CEO, Mr. Jamie Devine. Yeah, we rebranded from, I'm not going to even, the unmentionable to IAMDIVINITY. It's been about a month now, or less. We're approaching that 1 month mark, and we're getting ready for our pre-launch. And so we're super excited. We will be announcing the first event that we're having. It's going to be here in the Philippines. We were aiming for the Kingdom Arena, but we heard that it might be a little bit longer than normal. So we're looking at this really nice resort called Discovery. And so we want to invite you all to be there. It's going to be ineffable. There's no other word for it. So we're super excited. And like I said, we really decided to make that change and to go all in on divinity. And it really started a few years ago with Jamie taking his leap into his light, and then 44 years ago whenever Don made his decision. And so we're super excited for everything. And that one decision that Jamie took to really get out of the old system and come into the new one is the reason why we're all here. So I'm super grateful that he made that decision. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And so thank you, Jamie. And will you bring your magical ass up here?
Get it, Jamie.
Woo!
Get it.
Woo!
First, can we get a close up on my two big toes? Yeah, keep going, keep going.
Not his
No,
knees.
the toes, Joel.
Not the knees.
There you go. You see those? All right, so those happened. All right, that's enough, Joel. So those happened right as what was it, 2-3 weeks ago when we
Yeah, right whenever I get here, basically.
yeah. So a few weeks back when we decided to shift from that Ego Nation to to I Am Divinity. And as Don was talking, so I got both, right? I had the emotional and the logic. And what that was about for me was stepping into the future now of going all in with the I Am Divinity. It was getting me on both aspects, the phobia to the light, losing everyone, all the friends and family because I was stepping into my light. Then the logical of like, oh, are people gonna, still want to spend money on the program and all of that. So that yeah, and then just was it a week ago? we went for a Thai massage, and in the Thai massage they get you to like hold your back, and then they do one of those like spine twists. And in that moment, my left shoulder went out. And of course, being around Don all the time, you can't get away with anything. So immediately he's like, interesting. Is that the left or the right? It's like, ah, damn it. Okay, why did I create it? And then looking it up, just browsing online what the shoulder was about, and it was all about work performance. So for me, that was the surrendering that human Jamie gonna make it happen, right? Because in the past, I got great results doing that. You know, I found a way to get to the highest levels in what I was doing, mostly using that human make it happen, you know, control every aspect of it. So for me, the biggest, as a previous narcissist, was the surrender piece. I was 1,000% committed to the process, but the surrender piece was tough for me. And when we were out today in the morning doing the whitewater rafting, I saw it happening live with Sam. So as he mentioned, when we first started on the rafting, they get you to do like a practice save your friend, right? Because we only had one guide in the boat, and he has to steer, so he can't. If you fall out, you know, it's one of the group members that have to help you back in. And so they do a little practice run. And so I go first in as a practice to get saved. And first of all, the water was colder than I would have liked it. You know, I don't do well with cold. It's been many years that I've done a Canadian winter. Had enough of those for one lifetime, made a decision, strong decision on that, haven't gone back. And so as I was doing the practice run, I get back in the boat and I just made the decision. I'm like, there's no way that I'm going to be falling out of this boat. I don't care how big the rapids are. Like, I'm staying in the boat no matter what. So that was my decision. And then as we continued on the journey, as Sam said, he was the first to fall out, and he fell out with Nina. And he forgot to mention that in the safety meeting, they go over it 20 times. Rule number 1, okay? Rule number 1 is don't panic, okay? And knowing what I know, after all this 4 years experience with Don in the program, I'm just sitting there laughing at the safety meeting, because I'm like, yeah, good luck intellectually telling someone not to panic when that moment happens. So we so we're going down, and Nina and Sam both fall out the boat as we go through this major rapid. There's this big rock, and it tips the boat to their side. And I just see Sam fall back, and the look on his face was like, holy shit, I'm gonna die. Like, it was not graceful at all. And then they're outside the boat, both of them, and Nina is just like floating there next to the boat, like just chill, totally chill. And Sam is like a like a dog on his first swim, you know, learning how to swim. He's just like, I don't know what to do. And it's like, yeah, try telling Sam rule number 1 in that moment, right? Because the phobic response is just so much faster than the intellect. And anyway, we get back in the boat, or they did, and then as we're so no one else fell out of the boat until Sam did again for the second time, and he landed on this like perfectly sized flat rock, and it was just like and he just like sat there, and I was crying laughing at how funny it was. And then as we're going down the rapid, he realized like, oh, I got to get off this rock, or you know, they can't turn around and get me. So now he's floating down the river, and he gets back in the boat, and he's like going off about how he nailed his Sam, was it the left or the right elbow? Okay, the left, just making sure. And when he gets back to the boat, I said, what's he So he's complaining about his elbow. I said, like, why do you keep abusing yourself? You know, like, what's going on? Are you ready to surrender yet? You know, because you could tell he was just, especially since the first fallout. Now he's like trying to control not falling out, and his whole focus was on not falling out. And then, of course, inevitably, it happens the second time. And then after that, after I questioned him on that, and then I told him, I was like, yeah, when we did the voluntary thing, I just decided there's no way I'm going in. And so each time if the boat was tipping, I would fall inside the raft instead of outside the raft to balance the weight. So anyway, we're at the next one, and this one was like, we're talking a wall of rocks with a really big drop. Okay. And the boat gets stuck in the middle of all these rocks right before this big drop off. And Sam's on the side of like is with his back turned to the drop. And he's like, oh, like, no, it can't happen again. And I'm just looking at him, I'm like, surrender. Surrender. And then, sure enough, we all fall off down the wall and everyone stays in the boat and we're all fine. But yeah, Sam got a massive dose of surrender today, which was awesome.
Decision and surrender.
Yeah, decision and surrender. Tiffany says, I remember that fear. I've fallen out and went over rapids without a boat. I couldn't find my husband for 30 minutes. I thought he drowned. I feel you, Sam. There you go. So first of all, I see a couple of you on the call here that I'd love to call out. Mr. Nua, how you doing, buddy? It's been a little while. Haven't been getting many updates from you. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Jamie? Thank you so much. Sorry, I can't put my camera on. I have my daughter on my shoulders and stuff, and I have no shirt on, so I don't want to show all my buffness.
Yeah,
But
don't want to intimidate all of us.
yeah. Oh man, it's so funny how you talk about Sam and that because I can see. I mean, being with Jamie and Sam, I can just see the facial expression on Sam, and we're not laughing at you, Sam. We're laughing with you, because I've been there too. I haven't been water rafting, but I'm like, I'm so glad you guys did that after I left because I was like, holy smoke, I can. I would be that. Instead of you, Sam, Jamie would be talking about me. Like Nua's face was looking like, oh my gosh, he's never gonna go back to America. This is it for him. So thanks for being that guy, Sam. So and I just want to give an update. And Jamie had I don't know, Jamie and Don are so in tune with the universe. Like so I've been back now for like it's a week now that I've been back. I came back from the Philippines and then directly like I came back and I wasn't even home for 14 hours and turned around and went to Maui for another week. And then after a week there, came back to Utah. And I have, and I was doing my divine focus on the plane and I was doing it on, just kind of, but my time frame is so messed up. Like I don't even know what day it was, what time it was, this and that. 30 plus hours, in the air. I felt like my brain was going to explode, and I thought it was because of the air pressure being at 30,000 feet for that many hours. I'm like, oh, there's no way this is healthy, and so I got sick. And the only thing I think of was Don saying in his 40 plus years since he's been doing this, he's only been sick once. And that sickness saved his life, right? And I'm like, how the hell is this guy he's older than me, but we don't know his age because he's at the beautiful age, divinity age, right?
Forever
And I'm
young.
like, Forever Young. There you go. Neil Diamond or whoever sings that song, right? Forever Young. And I'm like, and I'm 46. How the hell am I sick? There's no way. Like, and what it was, I realized that I wasn't doing my divine focus 3 times, because of I thought I was doing it, but really in reality, I was doing it maybe once a day and then forgetting and then 2 times a day. And I realized, I looked back like, oh, I'm not doing it 3 times a day. No wonder. And this is what I want to share with everyone because I was sick and I was shivering when I got back from Maui to Utah the day that I landed. The very next day, I was just the flu bad, and I realized I caught it from my brother-in-law, but in Maui. But I was shivering in my covers,
Didn't know that.
and I right, so I was shivering in my. I didn't know that. That's an inside joke, guys, but we'll share that one later. But I was in my covers and I was literally shivering. And what came to my mind, I was gonna do my divine focus. And I kid you not, I put my thumb in my middle finger, in my right hand, in my left hand. I did. The minute I interlocked both, my shivering stopped. And I was like, what the heck? I was like, what the hell? What's going on here? And then I was just kind of like, you're like a kid, you're testing it out, right? So you let go. And the minute I let go, I started shivering again. And I was like, shut the front door. I was like, mother. And then I did it again. So I put I put both of them back, interlocked them, and the shivering stopped. And then I sat there and I can just hear Jamie and Don's voice like, I wonder what you've not doing. And they were spot on. They're like, you idiot, you haven't been doing it for 3 times a day. And I have my notes down, so it's not like I just was letting it slip away because that's how strong the ego was. It was convincing me that I did it, but I really wasn't. I didn't, because I was with the family. We're at come on, you're in beautiful Maui at the beach, and who needs 10 minutes out of looking at the beautiful sunset and this and that to go do your divine focus? I'm like, well, frick, if anything, I did. Who cares about that beautiful sunshine? I need my beautiful divinity. And I realized that, and I was like, and that's why I was sick. I didn't do everything to the T. And ladies and gentlemen, it is so strong, and I kid you not. And I'm not one to like, hey man, no, but this is like I experienced this, and it was just interlocking when I'm shivering, and then the minute I did it is like the shivering stopped. I mean, come on now. It was crazy. And I was like, all right, no, you need to get back on it. And this is how in tune Don is. He called me yesterday and he called me out on my BS. Noah, what have you been doing? And before I even started talking, he's like, just stop. And I'm like, oh shit, here it comes. And then he's like, quit with your bullshit. And okay, now I'm saying this so for people that are listening for the first time, he's not a mean guy, but because when I did my transformation there on Divinity Mountain that he just showed here, he told me, Noah, I'm not gonna like cuddle you, and no, I'm gonna call you out when I see things that are wrong because you're here for a reason. You're here to change. And I said, yes. So when he said that to me, I immediately just stopped when he called me yesterday. And when he called me, like I was like in the bathroom, right? And I was like, oh crap, Don's calling. And I was like, damn it, I can't answer because I'm in the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. And then when I called him back, I saw his face and he just smiled, kind of like, you already know what I'm gonna do, right? And I'm like, oh, here it comes. But here's how I know how tuned in the universe he was. I needed that call. When Jamie hit me up on messaging, I needed that. And I put a whole paragraph and Jamie's like, respectfully, Noah, that's a bunch of BS. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yes, it is, Jamie. And that's all he said. And I know Jamie, it's not coming from a nefarious place. Or not. It's all comes from love, and it comes from a divine focus that he's been in. As look at Jamie's face. Look how bright he is. So that brightness you see just on a screen, I saw that in real life every day. And what I love about Jamie is that he is so vulnerable. Like he shares, like, yeah, I kind of got out of my divinity. And so before I got there, Jamie did 3 hours of divine focus. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you can do 3 hours in one session, we're supposed to do it 3 times a day, 10 minutes a day is, at 3 times a day is nothing. Because why? I saw it from my own eyes. And if I want to achieve the kind of success, and it's not even about success, it's about the ego, getting rid of the ego. Like I equate it to like winning, right? Everyone could win once, but to continue winning, you have to keep practicing. So to be able to stay in my divinity, I have to practice. And that practice means doing the 3 times a day, journaling it. And I kid you not, I've been sick, floored. And today, after Don called me and Jamie messaged me, like I'm back. Like my sickness is all of a sudden, whatever you want to call it, miraculously, I call it divinity, kicked its ass. And like I'm full up. I got up early. I made sure I was up early this morning, 6:30, waiting for the call so I can jump on. And I was watching it previously, but I was on Facebook. And I was like, oh, no wonder why Damien can't see me because I'm on Facebook, So I had to jump on here on the actual Zoom so they can see my name pop up. But I was kind of like trying to hide in the background. And when Jamie said, I want to call someone, I was like, oh, here it goes. And because these guys are in tune, that's when these guys are in their full divinity. For those that don't know, when you're at your, the 200 and the 700, these guys are way above the 700 mark, way above it. And Don, when he's talking how powerful, I think the other gentleman, was talking about he was, meditating and he keeps getting that. I knew exactly what Don was going to say. And it is that powerful. The 9-year-old that Don talks about in his video, that's me. And he's absolutely right. I knew I had, my mother passed away when I was 9 years old. My dad had to be a single father for 6 kids. And I loved my mom so much. I didn't realize that I hardened my heart and I didn't allow myself to love anyone again the way that I loved my mom. He called out on it. And in that instant, I got rid of that. I came home with my heart wide open. And my wife was able to see the love I came back with her and the way I treat her, the way I talk to her, the way I talk to my kids. They saw the difference. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't get any more real than that. Don called it out. He's the real deal. I'm so blessed and grateful and thankful that Jamie brought him to our community and gives us access, and that Don had the agreement to say, yeah, I'll talk to these guys. Like that little session he did with that gentleman that had was talking about, and Don said, hey, put your fingers together, interlocked it, and turn your back. He had me doing that transformation. So he just gave you a little appetizer of what he's capable of doing for us. But he doesn't like to he doesn't say it's not me, it's you. It's all within each and every one of you, which he's right. Everything he said to me when I did my transformation has come to fruition. It is real. It is so powerful. And if I was a multimillionaire, $1 million paid to John is easily good because I can see that everything he's talking about is real. It's happening. I'm living it. I'm going through it. And I thank Jamie and Sam and Will and the whole I Am Divinity team and Don for helping me see the light. I see it in what's the other guy's name? Gilbert in LA, or yeah, he hasn't even been to Philippines, and look at the transformation he has. I was so fortunate and blessed. I was able to go do it, and I take so much pride in it because it made me sad when Jamie was talking about his brother that came all the way there, and I was excited. I was hoping I was going to stay there to meet his brother, and Jamie wasn't even pissed off, and I was kind of pissed off for Jamie, like what the hell? He came all the way and he didn't want to do it. And Jamie came out and he just shared the experience with such love and respect. Like, who does that? You know someone's doing something right when and it's not even about the money for Jamie. Like Jamie paid for his whole way to come there and was ready to pay for him to going back, but he found, and that's how strong that ego is. Like the ego is so strong and so real that it even got me thinking that I was still, and I wasn't. I wasn't doing it. Well, I wasn't doing it to the T, the way that Jamie and Sam and everyone was doing or doing it. And those of you that are following it to the T, you have to follow it to a T. I'm ready to get back on that horse. And when Don told me, and I told him, what I was going through, he's like, Noah, you've lost 90%. And this is someone that'll stick with me. He told me, Noah, do you want to make that all that time and energy that you came over here to be lost? Do you want your family to lose the person that you came back, as? Your kids deserve it. Basically, he said, get off your ass and get back on it. And I was like, he told me everything out of love. And I took it I took it wholeheartedly. And I'm like, man, that's exactly what I need. And the minute I hung up with him, I went right into my divinity focus, divine focus. And I just sat there and I did it. And I just took a deep breath in, a deep breath out, and I let everything come back to me. And that's what I Am Divinity can do for anyone that's listening to this call. I got so much love and respect for you guys. I appreciate you guys. This is the real deal. And thank you for letting me show, even though I like to be on camera, thank you for letting me share a little bit of my experience.
Get it, Noah.
Woo-woo. Welcome home, buddy. And I'm not talking about Utah.
Yes, thank you for that.
Awesome. That's
I think Dogmat had a dream or something. I'm not sure how to pronounce Dagmat.
oh,
I'm not sure.
Dagmar.
Dagmar.
Yeah, go ahead, Dagmar.
Okay, you guys can hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, good morning, everybody. So my experience has been kind of weird. Yesterday I couldn't get on the call too long. I had other prior commitments, so I was able to sneak away for at least half an hour. So I clued in. And I had a very nice day. And when I went to bed, I did the divinity thing and it was okay. But when I woke up this morning at 5, I was highly agitated. I didn't think I slept so well. And I felt like I was deprived of a dream because I couldn't recall any. So I punched the pillow, turned around and said, that's it. I'm starting the day over again. I'm going to go back to bed. So I went back to bed and I had this dream. And the dream was very interesting. I'm on top of these stairs in an old house and I had to go to the bathroom, but I ended up peeing on the spot. And so I'm watching the urine like drip down the stairs going, oh crap, now I have to clean it up. So I go downstairs into the laundry room to get a bucket and a cloth and everything. And I go back and I'm cleaning up the urine everywhere. And I had noticed there's all these papers on the stairs. And then my son, who in this dream was 7 years old, I could see this little animal. It looked like a little mouse. And I'm looking at it going, hey, is that a mouse? And my son's looking at it. And then all of a sudden, the mouse starts kind of flying, but it turns into, one of those big bees. I call them Goodyear blimps. They sort of hover slowly. And it turned into that, but it was brown and it looked really cute. So I reached out my left hand to grab it and it disappeared. And I thought, and then I woke up going, well, what the heck was that? Right. So I did my divinity thing. And then I went downstairs and I told my husband about it. And he said right away, because I understood the urine was about anger and releasing all that, but I didn't understand what the animal was about. So when I told him, he just said one word, one sentence. He goes, oh, that's because it wasn't real. And instantly it kind of clicked. It's like, oh, so I was grabbing at an illusion, but there was nothing there. So then I promptly got back on the call this morning so I could share it with you. So it was interesting that what I was trying to grab for wasn't real. It's all an illusion. So I thought that was pretty powerful.
Yes, sounds familiar. The illusion. Thanks for
Well,
sharing.
it's neat because I'm very good with dreams. I can interpret them really well. So that piece kind of had me confused, right? I didn't understand it. So when he just said that one sentence, it was like, well, there it is right there. So because I've been kind of agitated the past 2 days in that regard. So I can hear the ego going yak, 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 yak. So I keep turning around to it and linking my fingers. And when I woke up this morning, the first time agitated, I tried to do the divinity thing, but it was interesting because I couldn't keep my fingers and index fingers together. They kept pulling apart. So that's when the dream came. Put it this way, I'm realizing I need to be here. This is going to be powerful stuff. And I'm curious to see where this is going to go. And thank you for letting me share.
Well, thank you for sharing. Yeah, it's going back to the ego only has the power we give it, because it is an illusion, and it takes our decision to do that, right? It's our free will to do that. But going back to what Nua said, isn't it awesome, Nua, that you couldn't be out of your divinity without getting sick? How awesome is that? And how instant was that? The sensitivity that you have now after being fully in it, not being able to get away with anything.
Oh, it was super awesome. Super awesome.
Yeah, and that's as Nua said, you got to fly all the way out here to the Philippines, have the best experience, the first one to ever do it on Divinity Mountain, one-on-one with Dawn, like just got the royal treatment, and then got back home, still gave it up. And I'm not picking on Nua, because I mean I was basically living with Dawn the times that I gave it up majorly. And I remember the second biggest one, that was my real rocket ship. The third one, it was a gradual. So I'll recap that for those of you that haven't heard it. But Don and I were down in Mexico now. I had invited him after we had already been, I did his program April 2020, and it was September that I went back down to Mexico, and I said, Don, like, why don't you come here, man, and we'll work on the mission together from Mexico. And Vancouver winter is starting to set in, and he's like, well, are you actually serious about that, bud? Because that's a pretty good offer. And I love Cabo, he said. So I said, yeah, I'm serious. I'm 110% serious. So he ended up coming 3 weeks later, and we were there for about 15 months. And in the middle of that journey, it was around February. So from September to February. And we were living right across the street from each other. My family has 2 homes in Cabo right across the street, so we were in both of them. And anyway, there was just one moment that I used to make Dawn the enemy. And then once you make Dawn the enemy, that gives you permission to not do any of the process, right? Why would I do the divine focus if I found something wrong with Dawn? Why would I do the process at all? Why would I even listen to him when he was trying to help me? So I pushed him away, and then it was like Dawn mentioned, if you're not spending that time in the divine focus, you're going to be right back where you started in no time, or like Nua getting sick. And so in no time, next thing you know, I'm back to my old alcohol party program. And it was a few weeks in where I didn't know how I got home, drove, like blackout drunk, like ended up one night in a random like Mexican neighborhood, like didn't know how I got there, like that type of shit. And in that experience, it was before I had a phobia to my light, because the ego had me tricked that if I was going to go fully into my light 100%, I was going to die. And after that experience of being out of my light after holding it for so long, with being right next to Dawn, it really hit me hard that it's like, no, dummy, it's not being in your light that's going to kill you, that is killing you. And that was when I just 100% surrendered. 100%. It was life and death for me at that point. Like, I'm definitely going to lose my life if I don't surrender 100%. So where Sam was experiencing in the whitewater rafting today, you know, getting bumped and bruised and all that, just turn the intensity of that to 1,000, and that's what I experienced in order to fully surrender. Okay. And then the third time was just last year. So I got to the point where so our whole the financial community that was created last year, as soon as that exploded, the shift went from, Will, can you mute whoever's back? I hear some background noise. I think it's LK, maybe I see his mic on. Anyway, it went from, I'm going to do this prop firm thing as a financial fuel to our divinity. Went from that to this thing exploded and I needed to have 100% of my energy just to keep up with it. And then it was, oh, like I don't have time for the divine focus, and I've been doing it for 3 years. Like, I'm sure it's locked in now. Don't need to do that anymore. And as Don said, it wasn't too long until I was back into those old programs. And it was last summer where I started drinking again. After 3 years of not having any desire whatsoever for a sip of alcohol, next thing you know, I was drinking a lot of alcohol. Okay. And again, it's the motorcycle crash I had last summer. I was drinking. Like that was the reason why I crashed, no doubt about it. But again, it was that near-death experience. I'm like, holy shit, this totally just caught up with me just in a few months of not doing the divine focus, and now putting this financial system above my own divinity, you know, is really what it was. And as Don keeps saying, it's like anything you put above your divinity, soon enough, you're going to be right back in your old shit. And I was. And so that that motorcycle crash where I almost lost my life, flipped over the handlebars going about 50 kilometers, and landed on my back, my left shoulder, by the way, for those of you paying attention. And then I haven't had that was my, okay, enough of this. Like, I've done this 3 times now. Like, how much more do I need? Like, I'm literally gonna die if I don't go fully into my light. And so I made that decision for the next day after, I mean, well, in the moment, really, it was in the moment that I'm like, man, I get through this, I'm not looking back. And so since that moment, I haven't came even remotely close to having sip alcohol or any of that old shit. And I've been doing my divine focus nonstop since then. And as Nua said, like, even sometimes when I was like, oh, I've cut it short only to 10 minutes, and I made up for, like, I'm gonna do a couple hours today, you know. And at this point, it's just the time is infinite. I don't even count. I don't look at the time anymore. When I wake up, it's just I'm sitting in this until, like, I'm really moved to get up. Like, it's really got to move me. Like, okay, it's time to get up and going. You know, not the, oh, you know, there's something you got to check your phone. Not the little ego whispers, but the divinity going, okay, it's time. Let's go. But yeah, so that's I fully trust that you're going to take all of this experience to heart, so you don't have to go through 4 years of almost killing yourself multiple times to get it. You know, I trust Nua. You only have to get sick to get it, not have to have a near-death experience like me. So, can you scroll down a bit? There's one more. So another buddy I want to pull on the call here, probably know it's coming, Mr. James. We have not heard from you for a while, my friend. How are you?
Doing pretty good, Jamie. Yeah, I figured you're gonna call me up. I'm doing well, actually. I been going through some interesting stuff lately. So definitely didn't. I went through a couple of weeks. I take my son to school right at the same time that we have these calls. So, these mornings, some mornings we have battles and can't make it and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, you sent me a message a while back on Telegram. And so, instead of, kind of going through it with everybody else, I kind of went, and did my own thing. So recently I had to go back down to Hayward. And that's, I don't know, Hayward, California, kind of by Oakland and that. And so it was a place where my wife and I kind of met, and we had a lot of old past stuff. There was definitely some darkness down there. And that was an interesting walk. Had to go and spend a lot of time, almost like locking myself in a bathroom, really, where I had to have I'd plug my AirPods in, and just I had to so that I could focus and hear nothing else, for just a little bit, and kind of getting back in it. But really through all of that, I've been able to shed a whole bunch of layers. I was smoking weed, quit smoking weed, doing a bunch of Suboxone in that. And, I was eating a bunch of Kratom before. So really just shedding all sorts of layers. I still feel like I have more to go. Really. There's still a lot of ego, a lot of little places that I can't really see, little blind spots that I can't see that kind of come out of nowhere. And that, but just definitely want to continue spending time in that, and it seems that it just, no matter what, as long as I keep doing my 3 times a day, always find my way back to the light, no matter how dark it really seems to get. And that, I will have to say, a couple of weeks ago in Hayward, that was a really, really, really dark place. So it definitely took a lot of focus to stay where I wanted to be.
Awesome, man. Well, welcome back, and kudos to you for getting through all that. And I'm also I'm so grateful of the major pain I had to go to fully surrender. I am super grateful that the universe is doing your version to you, so that you make this a priority.
Yeah,
And
agree. Yeah, same sort of revelation that you're having too. It's like I've been so close to dead so many times, and like you, I am definitely have those very narcissistic tendencies. So it's really easy for you to kind of get to a point where you're just like, no, I got this. I'm gonna drive the bus. I think I know best.
I'll do it. I'll go my own way. Even for the last 30 years, my own way had me crashing every single time. But I'll keep going that way. Yeah, as I've mentioned before, the narcissist is not the first to surrender. That's for sure. In fact, when I went through Don's process in 2020, he told me straight up. He said, "Man, you're actually the first narcissist that I've had full success with that hasn't completely ran away on me, because I came back that second time and just fully surrendered." And he's like, "Yeah, you're the first one that I was able to have 100% success with." And I had him make a little testimony video, for the Jamie was the first narcissist to overcome narcissism. It's pretty funny. But anyway, let me help you with a little correction on what you were saying. Okay, so I love that you're back in your divine focus, but do you recall going back to whatever it was 2-3 months ago when you're in that group with us, and Don was bringing you through the process and made you the example, right?
Yeah.
And there he is. Great to see you, man. And you recall in that moment after your transformation, were any of those layers still there, or was it 100% gone?
It was 100% gone at that moment. Yes.
Thank you, James. Oh,
yes.
Just a reminder for all of us that, first of all, the great thing is you got there in how long?
In a moment.
1 second.
Yeah. Then
So it only takes a second to get back. And all of the, oh, you got more work to do. Oh, there's more layers. Oh, that's just the ego trying to get you off track. That's all that is.
okay.
So remember that moment, because that moment is who you truly are. And that moment is where you can live 24/7. And the only reason you're
Okay.
not is giving the ego any attention.
Question as far as that goes, and maybe if Don's on the call, I mean, if he's still up there on this awesome mountain, he can answer. But yeah, I mean, so like I had kind of gotten off of the kratom and and that, and I like kind of tried that. My body like freaked out, and so I was on the Suboxone, which is like a really long acting opioid. And so are you to tell me that like you feel like it would just completely go away? Like, is that me battling with the ego? It just completely goes away, like in that moment, and that just like sort of like rips away from your receptors, and like, is that just my brain like completely trying to ego trying to get me back in, suck me back in?
Great question, James. And I sense you already know the answer. I'm going to share, and Don, it looks like he jumped off. It's a little past his bedtime, but
Yeah.
it's all, so whatever the physical symptoms are, because Don was going through a list of them, and ultimately they're just symptoms. That is what they are. Okay. And whatever external that the ego is
Manifestation.
telling you need, even though in that moment, as you experienced, you had 100% of everything you need, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, all of those external, it's no different than my severe weed addiction before, or the alcohol addiction, or the caffeine addiction, or the sex addiction, or the, all of those externals that ultimately all I was attempting to do, very unsuccessfully, was to get into that moment that you just recalled and experienced.
Beautiful. Okay.
You got it?
All right. Fabulous. So that's awesome. Well, then I did need to go through all that trudging.
No, don't recommend it.
Either way, we're here. Regardless,
Yes,
we're
we
here.
are.
So
We
yeah.
are. Welcome home, sir. Great to
Yeah,
have you.
absolutely. Yeah. Thanks so much, Jamie. Yeah. Good to see you
You're
again.
welcome, buddy. Yeah, you too, man. Awesome. Okay.
Hi, Jamie.
Janet.
It's Jackie
Hey,
again.
Jackie. That's what I meant.
Hi. I
Hey,
just,
Jackie.
if you're not done with somebody else, go ahead with I Am Divinity, because you mentioned Janet. Do you want to hear before me?
No, go ahead, Jackie.
Okay. Well, it's because I have Elaine and Kathy with me on the call, and it was great testimonies, by the way, here. But it was just yesterday morning, Jamie, when I received the phone call from the broker from LQDFX. I was really excited. And then it was questioned. So because we weren't told about it, that's what raised some red flags apparently, and whatever. But I'm not. So I have Elaine with me and has questions on my behalf and Kathy's behalf, because we were part of the Pioneer. We put in Canada, it's like well over 4,000. But we just need to know the how the LQDFX with the call. But Elaine's there. Can you just answer her question?
Well, Will is actually doing an onboarding call, so he'll help you with all that right after this. What time are we at right now? It's 1:09. 1:09. Okay. Okay. So yeah, we went a little later right now, so we'll be jumping on the onboarding call in a few minutes here, and you can get on there. He'll help you with all that. So Will, can you just drop the link in the chat? And there you go. So
all right.
With that being
Thank
said,
you.
we'll wrap things up here. What's that? Yeah, go ahead. You can close it off. I'll bring Sam up to close off. So great to have you all. Awesome to have especially Nua and James on the call today. I honor both of you. I've been through all of those dark alleys myself, the darkest of the darkest, the most dangerous of the most dangerous, and I survived to tell the tale, but I do not recommend those detours. Okay. There's nothing else that you need. Lock it in now and forever experience peace. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome, Noah. Great to see you, man. Okay, so I'll bring up Sam here. He'll close things out, and then onboarding call will just drop in the chat. See you tomorrow, same time. Oh, actually, before I let you go, Will, can you show them the new office signage, please? Throw up a screen share with the photo there. You guys can see that. Oh, wow, he's fast. Wait a minute. Hey, there we go. Our new podcast studio from the office. It's official. So we will be seeing you there. Will, correct me if I'm wrong. We're ready to go tomorrow? Yep. Okay, we're ready to go tomorrow. We will see you from, yes, awesome. We'll see you there. We'll see you from there tomorrow.
Awesome. Yep. Super excited to be over there tomorrow. And yeah, I definitely recommend not having to go through the hard route. Luckily, I didn't have to fly 10 feet in the air and land on my back on a motorcycle accident. It was just 4 feet onto a rock.
Yo, Sam, why
Super
do we call you a beach whale instead of a beach seal or something? You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta talk about that.
divine
No,
beach swell.
just kidding, really.
So funny. So tomorrow will probably be good with the affiliate program. I didn't get to talk to David last night just because we ran late and then we had to wake up in the morning. I was like, I need at least an hour. So I'll be talking to him tonight. Also our smart contract guy. So we'll have some updates for you. But yeah, we're good for tonight. I will update you guys on what I learned tonight from the new studio. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate all the shares. And yep, we'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Philippines time. We love you guys. From our heart to you, I am Divinity. So are you.